If you're struggling to get yourself out of a rut, this episode is for you. This week, I'm going to teach you a 5-step process to get you out of your rut and get you back into productive action so you can make those dreams come true. Welcome to How to Be a Dangerous Woman, a place where we dive deep into breaking down into what makes amazing women just like you think, feel, and perform at levels beyond what you thought was possible. This is a place where women learn what it truly feels like to have it all without guilt, without imposter syndrome, and without overwhelm getting in the way. I'm Dr. Crystal Connor, and together we're going to explore the health, mindsets, and strategies that distinguish the world's top performing women. And you're going to walk away with the exact tools that you need to build and create a life on your own terms. Hi there, my friends. We're rounding out the first quarter of 2022. And if you're anything like me, you've had at least between 3 and 234 mini breakdowns in the last few months. It happens all the time. Your life is going along just fine until it's not, until you're handed extra work at your job, or your kids start acting out, or you're struggling to stay focused and make decisions in your business. Then suddenly you find yourself paralyzed. You become frustrated with yourself because you know what you want to be doing to move forward in your life. You're just not doing it. You become critical because you have a list of things you should be doing to move forward. You procrastinate, you get discouraged, you feel disappointed. You're in a full-blown rut. These are the 4 things that I want you to start doing when you feel yourself stuck and unable to move forward. The first thing I want you to do is to ground yourself. That could be by praying and asking for guidance. It could be by meditating, or it could be by just sitting in a comfortable place in your home that makes you feel safe and comfortable and just getting quiet. This is important because I want you to be available to clearly hear all of the thoughts that are in your head. And not just the loudest ones, but those sneaky whisper level thoughts that are lingering in the background. These are the ones that we want to be able to identify, because what we think is the root cause of our problems is often not the problem at all. It's just the loudest, most obnoxious, most obvious answer. Now, after you've grounded yourself, I want you to write out all of the thoughts you currently have. Don't make judgments about your thoughts, just write them out. And I want you to allow them. Allow the thoughts and allow the feelings. All the thoughts and feelings are welcomed. Don't respond to them. Don't go around punching walls or texting that person that you're harboring anger against. Don't involve anyone else in this process, because this is about you. You get to cry, you get to scream, you get to write out all the expletives you want in your journal that you're feeling. Like, just allow it to be there, because we don't ever want to avoid and pretend that our feelings aren't there. I don't want you invalidating your feelings. There's enough of that in the world. I want you to love yourself enough to accept all the parts of you, good, bad, and ugly. I want you to trust yourself enough to know that you can handle all of it. The third step I want you to do is to identify the feeling that's created when you think that thought. Now, sometimes it can be easier if you identify the feeling first, because sometimes it's easier, like, you know what you feel. And so you can figure out your feeling first and then figure out what you're thinking that creates that feeling. You can interchange step 2 and 3 if you feel like you're stuck when it comes to figuring out what you're thinking. Ask yourself, when I think this thought, it makes me feel, and pinpoint what that feeling is. It could be discouraged, hopeless, frustrated, sad, angry. Ask yourself the question and allow yourself to feel what comes up for you when you think that thought. The opposite would be to ask yourself, what am I thinking when I feel this feeling? Now, here's where you really get to see the impact of your thoughts. The fourth thing that I want you to do in this process of getting yourself out of a rut is to ask yourself what you do or what don't you do when you feel the feeling that you've identified. I mean, I want you to really spend time doing this. Really spend some time with this. Spend some time recalling how you might have acted in the past when you felt that feeling, how you're acting now. If there were cameras on you when you felt this feeling, what would you be doing? These are actions or inaction. This is the place where you would come up with things like, when I feel X, I overwork, I overeat, I don't ask for help, I don't tell people how I feel, I shut down. Or in my case, when I feel discouraged, I don't do anything. I don't show up. I do the bare minimum to keep up the facade to me that I'm still taking action. I check the boxes when I'm feeling discouraged, doing just enough to get by. So I want you to see how this shows up in your life. When you see how your actions show up in your life, you see ultimately how your thoughts create the results in your life. The last step is to challenge the thought and make a decision of what you're going to choose to believe moving forward. Leveling up your mindset, this whole mindset work is all about asking yourself high quality questions. So when you challenge thoughts, you do so by looking at the thought from a place of curiosity. It's like taking the thought and turning it upside down, looking at it from different angles, taking it apart to see if it's valid and if it's helpful. I want you to create a sentence, a new thought to practice that counters, that rebuts the one that isn't serving you and then one that's keeping you in a rut. If you need to add a but and put a spin on your old thought because you can't quite let go of it, then do that. Feelings of discouragement, frustration, and disappointment then become feelings of encouragement, hopefulness, and motivation to make the changes necessary to create different results. All right, my friends, that's it. That's the 5 steps I want you to work on. This is now a part of the tools you have in your tool belt that are going to help you continue to build a rock solid mindset. This is a tool that's going to help you learn how to bounce back from setbacks at a ridiculously fast pace. You will not need weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to recover from things like you may have in the past. You will not be stuck for months on end when you do this work, when you put forth the effort, and you are capable of this. I know you can do it. So, are you going to do it? Are you going to try this out this week? Yes or yes? Do your homework, friends. Do your homework. You're worth it. I hope you have an amazing week. God bless you, and I'll see you next Monday. If you found today's episode helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss an episode. And I'd really love to hear how you're doing. You can find me at Dr. Crystal Connor on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I can't wait to hear what progress you've made. So until next week, see ya.